All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode on your favorite political talk show, The Truth, with Ben Jokes. Yaya Bello promised me succession, but chose Ododo at last minute, ex-deputy governor. Now, that was Edward Onoja, the ex-deputy governor of Kogi State. He was Yaya Bello's deputy. Now, he is boldly saying that Yaya Bello promised him that he was going to be governor after him, and that Yaya later betrayed him and chose Ododo. Now, for me, the major conversation in this whole thing is that this is what Nigeria has been reduced to. A situation whereby a man that is sitting as governor can just call somebody and promise him that you will be governor after me. A position that is supposed to be a consensus of the people of Kogi State through the ballot was promised someone else by the sitting governor. This is the situation that we have found ourselves in this country, and some people want us to see it as normal. No right-thinking human being should see this as normal. This should break the heart of every patriotic Nigerian, and we must, as a people, do whatever we can to get out of this kind of ugly and disgraceful situation as a nation. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that one coming from Kano. Emir of Kano, Sanusi, called our leaders lousy and incompetent, taking a dig at the Tinubu administration. And next is that very big one coming out of southwest Nigeria. Yoruba unions have labeled Tinubu confused and out of ideas, and they are urging Nigerians to go out massively to get their voters cards, and they have said that those who voted Tinubu in 2023 should not repeat that mistake again. And they described the failure of Tinubu in the southwest in the most eloquent and devastating of ways. And this update has generated a lot of uproar. Many are shocked at the kind of rejection that Tinubu is receiving from southwest Nigeria, his supposed stronghold. Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video. Now, for those of you who want to hear positive updates about Nigeria, it is time for you to come and watch. Come and watch Tope Fasua, Tinubu's special advisor on economy. He has packaged solid lies from the pit of hell to tell you so that you can be happy about Nigeria. Come and watch this disgraceful video.
No, well, thank you very much. Money illusion is a concept, a well-known concept in economics. Maybe you're having a high velocity of money without actually being able to purchase as much as you can. However, in this instance, it's not just like that. It's not, it doesn't work fully well. Why? Because of one critical thing. The prices of factors of production have not increased at the same rate as the depreciation in the value of the naira. So if you had 100,000 naira today, whereas it may not be able to buy you what 100,000 will buy 2-3 years ago, it can still take you some way. Because for example, the price of labor has actually not increased commensurately. For example, so those who are in the construction world are still able to do a lot more with the naira that they have. This is a naira economy, not a dollar economy. Therefore, it doesn't actually work, scientifically and logically for us to just simply convert the money into dollar and say, oh, look at it where the dollar is. Nigeria is still a very cheap country to live in. Nigeria is cheaper. People who have gone to Ghana and come back, and I've done that a few times in the past, will tell you there's a lot, the naira goes a lot farther than the Ghanaian CD and so on. Of course, the naira goes a lot farther in Nigeria, and I've made that analysis several times. Sometimes it's been very heavily criticized, but it is what it is. It's scientific that the naira can do a whole lot for you in Nigeria than it would for you in. The other time I even did an analysis, looking at rentals in the UK. For a 3-bedroom flat in Knightsbridge, you probably would need about £10,000 every month. That's a lot of money. But even in our most expensive place in Banana Island, it's a lot less. You may be like a third of the money. And that is what we mean, that, in Naira, if you're trading in Naira and you're in Nigeria, you do a lot more with your Naira than you would in many of these other countries that we cannot. Therefore, I don't want us to let that be a get out of jail free card, especially for the state governments. Because some of them, I've heard some of the governors say, oh yes, we are getting this money, but in dollar terms. No, it's not dollar terms, it's Naira.
You heard that. The number one fallacy he vomited in that video was that the price of commodities have not increased commensurately with the exchange rate. And my response to that is, I don't know if we are going to the same market. And if we are, and Tope Faswa is still speaking like this, then he needs to see a doctor. Rice moved from 30,000 naira to 80,000 naira under this government. A bag of cement moved from about 4,500 to 10,000 naira. Spaghetti moved from around 750 naira to 1,200 naira. What do you still want, Tope Faswa? Is it until citizens begin dropping dead on the streets? Then he said the cost of labor has not increased much. How wicked can you be, Mr. Tope? So laborers don't deserve to have better lives, right? If the cost of labor has not increased, should you not even be fighting for the laborers? Are they not going to the same market under the same economy with all of us? Then he went ahead to say Nigeria is cheaper to live in. Cheaper to live in than countries that are doing far better than us. As we speak, the Ghanaian cedi is the best performing currency in the world. That is the currency that this man is trying to bring down, to put the naira above it. Then he went from saying this is a naira economy, not a dollar economy, to comparing 10,000 pounds with the equivalent in naira. According to the example he gave, if 10,000 pounds monthly can rent a 3-bedroom flat in Knightsbridge, United Kingdom, that is 120,000 pounds in a year. So when comparing that with Banana Island in Lagos, we should be using 120,000 naira, not converting 120,000 pounds to naira. Because according to him, this is a naira economy. So we should be comparing our money directly. Don't tell me that 100 pounds there, what it can buy for you. If you are bringing it to Nigeria, you will now convert it to naira. No. 100 pounds there should be comparing with 100 naira here. That is when it makes sense. So, in a nutshell, Tinubu's special advisor on the economy is trying to prove to us that the Nigerian economy is better than the economy of the United Kingdom, is better than the economy of Ghana. Better. So, you are even trying to say it's the best economy in the world because you are saying it's easy to do business here. You are trying to prove that rent is cheaper here. If that is what you want to hear as a Nigerian, then run with it when somebody sits on air and lies to you. But right here, I know that the economy is sinking under the APC and Tinubu. And if Nigerians want to rescue it, they must come together and get them out. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that one coming from Kano. Emir Sanusi lashed out at Nigerian leaders, calling them lousy and incompetent, taking a dig at the Tinubu administration. And next is that big one coming out of southwest Nigeria. Yoruba unions have told Nigerians that Tinubu is confused and out of ideas, and they have warned those who voted him in 2023 not to try that nonsense again. Let's start by taking that update from the Emir of Kano. Look at how the papers reported it. Nigerian leaders, lousy, lack competence to deliver, says Sanusi. Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II, has said Nigeria is stuffed with lousy leaders who lack the requisite capacity and competence to deliver and transform the country. You rise and fall with the quality of your leadership, and Nigeria has had lousy leadership for a long time. The monarch said, you cannot give what you don't have until we begin to look at the people who we choose to lead us. Mr. Sanusi, who spoke at the second edition of Kano International Poetry Festival organized by Poetic Wednesday in Kano on Saturday, said the country has not been fortunate with quality leaders for a long time. Mr. Sanusi said, you see it in the news. You see what happens in the legislature. You see the kind of debates that we are having, the kind of arguments that we have. the kind of time we waste on issues that are totally unimportant, the pettiness. We are still talking about Yoruba, Igbo, or Hausa, Northern or Christian. That is, we are still mad in that debate. We are still in the conversations that we had in the 1960s. You look at other countries, you look at other parts of the world, people are discussing climate change, discussing artificial intelligence. This is completely true. Nigeria is still stuck within the debate of tribe and religion, but people like Sanusi should go beyond just saying it at seminars. You can just make it a campaign, because this is really important. Tribe and religion, even this rigging that we talk about, saying that politicians rig elections, if we can keep tribe and religion aside, it will become extremely difficult for politicians to rig. Because I keep saying it, these politicians don't ever come out to carry ballot box themselves. They don't come out to change what is written on the ballot papers. It is people that they use, and these people have their own individual sentiments that drive them. If we can keep all the sentiments aside, we will begin to elect good leaders, and in no time, this country will be rescued. He has said that we have had lousy and incompetent leaders, and that is what we are seeing. That is what we are facing right now in the hands of Tinubu and the APC. If Nigerians want to change their laws, they know what to do. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that update from the Yoruba Union began making the rounds. Look at how the papers reported it. Yoruba Union says Tinubu is confused, out of ideas, warns Nigerians not to repeat mistake of electing him. The Yoruba socio-political group Ìgbìmọ̀ Májẹ̀kóbàjẹ́ Ilẹ̀ Yorùbá has again criticized Bola Tinubu, accusing him of using propaganda to falsely claim progress while millions of Nigerians suffer. The union explained that Nigeria is facing an unprecedented humanitarian crisis with widespread hunger pushing citizens to desperate measures. In a statement released on Tuesday and signed by the union's convener Olushola Badero and Home Director Princess Balogun, the organization warned that the dignity of the Yoruba people has been eroded due to harsh economic policies, including the removal of fuel subsidy. The statement read, "We cannot jeopardize the future of our people just because Tinubu, who is Yoruba, is confused and has run out of ideas. Yoruba people do not joke or compromise their integrity, but today things are falling apart. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́ran ti jẹ egungun. The son of meat sellers now eat bones. Never in history have we witnessed such horrible situations. Our married women have become involved in casual relationships, while our children have turned to internet fraud, yahoo yahoo, because of poverty and the anti-people policies implemented by Tinubu himself. Insecurity has forced many of our people to flee their ancestral homes. Farmers can no longer cultivate their lands, which have been seized by terrorists. A government that cannot guarantee the safety of its people has no right to continue governing through propaganda and deceit. A government whose only priority is negotiating with terrorists instead of neutralizing them and securing its citizens has failed its fundamental duty. Tinubu's government has failed its mandate. As a result, many businesses have collapsed under his watch, and family heads have become subjects of ridicule because they can no longer provide for their families due to economic instability and hardship. Many children have dropped out of school because their parents can no longer afford to fund their education. We urge Nigerians to go out in large numbers to register to vote and to never repeat the mistake of voting Tinubu and his allies, who have subjected citizens to modern-day slavery through anti-people policies. Tinubu's only apparent achievement has been imposing more taxes on the people, the union added. Wow, what a wonderful communique there by Yoruba unions. But point of correction, the man we are talking about here did not get the most votes in 2023 election. He was not elected. The man found his way in So, in as much as it is right to tell people to go and get their voters cards, we must also be championing the cause to defend votes or to transfer votes from polling unit to the IREB, because those are the only ways we can get this man out of power. And Ejiro here says they should direct these statements to INEC and the judiciary. The majority of Nigerians never voted for him in 2023 and will not vote him in 2027. That is where the issue lies. Apparently, the excitement about updates of people rejecting Tinubu is even beginning to reduce, because the rejection has become a nationwide thing. It is no longer hidden to anybody. Yes, from time to time, people come on air, his spokespersons, to say that Nigerians are backing him, but deep down, everybody, almost everybody in this country knows that the man has been rejected. The issue now is, when people vote against him, how do we get the votes to count? How do we get the person who received the most votes to be the one INEC will announce? That is the issue on ground now. And this is where, as individuals and as groups, we must do more than just issue statements. Sensitization must begin. The people have to be ready for what they are going to do in 2027. And some people have come out to say it is too early for us to start speaking like this. No, it is not too early. What we are going up against is what we are looking at, because for me, this is the very last chance that Nigeria and Nigerians have at redemption. After 2027, if the APC continues in office, I have been saying it, the kind of havoc they will wreak on this country, even a decade of good leadership might not be able to correct it. When you have a group of people that are borrowing money with crude oil, the biggest resource that this country has, they are borrowing money ahead with it. What else do you expect? They are trying to enslave the entire country. So all hands must be on deck towards this 2027, which is the last chance for me that Nigerians have at redemption. The opposition must also put their foot down on the issue of having a transparent process. If we do it dedicatedly, if we follow it religiously, it is possible and it can be achieved. Anyway, make I leave am here, make I still enter town, make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because of una na I dey here. So don't go away, don't go away.